Hi everyone, it's Michelle again with Purposeful Happiness, and today I wanted to work on some of these paper quills that I used in my Harry Potter books. And I'm just going to take two plain pieces of paper out of one of the hardback books and medium gauge wire, just as thick as you want, or any kind of leftover wire that you have that will bend and hold its shape. As you can see, these feathers really have a lot of movement to them when you use the heavier wire. And I just found a roll of this at the local thrift store, so I'm not sure what gauge it is, and I don't think it matters. A little water and some dyes. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut about 1 inch of the bottom of the page off, a strip, and this will become the bottom of the quill that we'll use for the pen. And this is probably the most difficult part of the entire process. You just have to roll it on fairly tight and let that glue dry for a second while you're working it. And you're going to twist that paper around the bottom of the wire as tightly as you can. And then what you'll do is you're going to add a little bit of glue and move up the wire in a small circular motion. So I'm just trying to wrap this up and get it up a little higher around that wire. And it takes a little bit of working, but it's not too difficult. And as you can see, I'm just still twisting to get the length. And part of this tip will be covered by the book pages, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And part of the charm of these quills is that none of them look alike. It's almost like a snowflake. They're all very different. And that is all that you do for the bottom of your quill. And you can kind of pinch it and make sure it's tight. So it looks like my wire is a little longer than I wanted. So I'm going to cut this wire down a little bit. I'm looking for my wire cutters. Can't find those, so I will end up using scissors, which I hate to do. That's where you see the indecision. Finally, I just decided to use my scissors. And then this length is a little more manageable for the size of the page that I'm working with. And I just drop the wire on the page in any shape, and I'll cut the feather out with the shape of the wire. I'll just follow it along. And so we're just going to glue the wire directly to the page, and I'll just use the Fabri-Tac and put it over the top of the wire and on the pages. And as you can see, the tip here will stick out just a little bit, and then there's just some glue. And I don't glue the whole page together because when I cut it, I want the two pages to have more movement in the feather itself. And you can see here how they sort of fan out, and that's what I'm looking for. If I had glued them, I wouldn't have that effect. And I'm just going to line up the bottom of these papers so that I can cut the feather. You don't have to be exact. And really, these are so easy and fun to make. We enjoyed making test feathers to see which ones we like the best. And now we'll just cut out and follow the wire, and larger at the bottom and a little skinnier at the top. And I fast forwarded this one because I didn't think you wanted to watch me cut the individual pieces out of the feather. So it'll just take a little bit to cut all the way around, and I cut fairly close the nicks in the feather to each other because I like to have a lot of the little bit of page ends popping up. And you just cut it at an angle when you get to the top, like what a regular feather would look like. And if you get some too far apart, you can come back in and clip it. Some of these are probably going in 1 inch, others are 1/4 inch, so as you can tell, you don't have to be exact. And I'll just wrinkle this up a little bit and let the pages separate. And essentially that is all there is to making this quill. And I'm just going to put a little movement in it now so that you can see what it looks like. For very little effort, you get a fun addition to your planner or a bookmark, whatever you want to use it as. And so now I'm just going to age it a little bit with the distressed ink. I have vintage photo and walnut stain, I believe. I'm just going to rub a little bit over the feather down the wire. And then what I'll do is I'm going to put a little bit on the wax paper of both these colors. And you can use any color you want. You don't have to stay with these. And I'll squirt a little bit of water so that the ink will spread through the paper a little better. I like the effect of this more so than just trying to distress it before I cut the feather out. I wanted it to look like it's been in somebody's desk for a long time, or a backpack, and it's grungy and has been well used, and that was this look. And you just go around and tap it until you decide that you have enough color on your feather. It'll be a little wet, so you'll just let it dry before you'll do much more to it. And then to get the effect that it was dipped in an inkwell, I'm just going to use the black StazOn and run it down the point of the quill. You can use acrylic paint, a Sharpie, whatever you have on hand. I just wanted it to look used. And then that is the entire quill, and I put these in my Harry Potter books, and I'm looking for a page. And this is just tucks right in like that, and it's made out of the original pages, so it was a nice addition to this journal. Thank you for watching.